There's so much I want to read this month. I'm not sure I'm gonna get it all done. So in this week's video, I'm thinking I'll try to see how much I can read in 1 week. Like, how much can I actually get done? If I put my brain to it, if I say this is what I'm gonna do, how many books can I get through? And is this too many? Okay, no, but actually, the TBR is kind of ridiculous. This is everything I'd like to read this month. Like, really, like, these are like some high priority reads for me. I'm not gonna get through all of them this week, but we're gonna try. We're gonna make the best indent we can. Also, there's some that I don't even own physically, like Half City. Want to get to that. Not Another Love Song by Julie Soto. Need to get to that. There's so many good books out right now. So let's put the pedal to the floor and kick it. I don't know what I'm saying. Okay, let's start reading. Wait, my cats are eating out of the same dish. This is such a big deal because they're not siblings, and this means that they trust and they like each other. This was something I was so worried with about getting cats that weren't siblings or like litter mates or even like knew each other before we got them. But they're such fast friends. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Sorry, I literally like just got them like 4 days ago. I had to document that. But I started Conform for our first read of the week. I figured I'd start with this because it's a 5-star prediction for me, and I know it read really, really quickly, and it clearly does because I started it yesterday and I'm on page 140 already. I'm hoping to be able to finish this one today and knock that off already. It's an interesting feeling with a book like this because I'm obviously like reading through it so quickly. When I'm reading it, I don't want to put it down. I feel like it's really hard to look away. I feel like there's a car crash that I'm watching happening. Like, I know it's gonna end so badly for her. But when I do put it down, I do find myself being able to walk away from it for like a decent amount of time and not just feeling like I need to sit here and binge this all day long. So it's weird because it's like mixed feelings about when I'm in the book and when I'm not, but overall I am enjoying it. I'm feeling a 4-star currently. This is a dystopian story where our world has kind of been taken over by, what are they called? The alum. And now we have humanity, which is kind of sorted into who they are based on if they have defects, a minor defect, a major defect, or if they're like perfect. And our main character was born to a perfect family. They're called elites, but she was born with 2 different colored eyes, which makes her not perfect. And so she has a minor defect, and she's sent as a baby, as a child, essentially to this school for minor defects, and then essentially indoctrinated into this world as a minor defect who now thinks their only place in society is to be a womb and to like serve the elite and the illum. The thing I am finding very interesting about this is that a lot of dystopian stories, we follow the lowest class because that's typically where a rebellion happens. But in this, she is from the middle class. She has a minor defect, not a major defect. And so I think it's interesting that we took a different perspective than usual. It is leading to me maybe not loving the story as much because since she is the middle class tends to be a little bit more indoctrinated. It tends to like let things go a little bit more because they aren't getting the cruelest parts. And there is this idea of if you don't follow along, you could be the lowest class. And that is why societies like this have that lowest class. It's always meant as a scare tactic to be like, if you get out of line, you could be that people, or like things could get worse for you. And so like she is more naive and like cautious and like has bought into the system more than if she had been in the lower class because they see all of the horrors essentially. So I am not as obsessed with her as a character because she's so naive, and that's just like not my personal preference. But I also like that it's a different take than what I've read in a lot of dystopian stories. And we still get to see the lowest class. I think how it's done is there's supposed to be a love triangle between someone in the lowest class, and then she's also chosen to be the mate of someone who's like really high in power, like one of those alum. So they call the elite world like the clouds, and so she works underground, she lives underground, all of that kind of idea. But as she's chosen as a mate, she's given the ability to go up to the clouds at certain times. So we kind of like are seeing into the elite's world for the first time as her, which I do like. I think it's really like easy to read. There is so much I am enjoying about this. I really think my major drawback is her as a main character. I just prefer someone a little bit more fiery and feisty. For her character to make sense, she can't 100% be that way because she's indoctrinated. And so I'm also enjoying that. So I'm not 100% certain where this book could go for me, if it will end up being a 5-star prediction or not. Because if it's done so well, I think it could be still. But also she might hold me back from that 5-star just because I'm not obsessed with her POV. I'm not obsessed with her stories. I find myself not as interested when she's not around one of the other characters that I care about. But I'm excited to see her like eyes open to the whole world. I'm excited to see some other situations that happen. I think as small microaggressions happen, she's kind of like starting to learn, well, maybe I'm not being well taken care of. Like at one point, now that she's like fertile, like she wasn't important until she was fertile. Now that she's fertile, she's getting like scans on her body because she's chosen as a mate. She's told at one point that she doesn't have enough vitamin D, and she literally goes, if I need vitamin D to survive, why am I kept underground? Is this not just gonna keep the defects more defected? Like, it's not gonna change anything. And I was like, yes, girl, like think that through, because that is what they're doing. They're not trying to make you better. They want you there. They want you to stay as you are, scared of them, and that they can maybe make your life better if you just follow all the rules. And I was just like, those little moments for me where I'm seeing her awaken just a little bit and see the bad stuff, like that's what I love in a dystopian story. So like, I am enjoying this. I just have little tiny nitpicks, you know? But I'm hoping to finish this tonight. I have sprints on Lexi's channel for realmathon tonight, so that's exciting, because the reason I feel like I can read so much this week is I am competitive, and in March I run a readathon called realmathon, and it's a competitive team-based readathon. I'm gonna leave the announcement down below. It's kind of like a whole community event. If you've ever wanted to make reading a little bit more fun, if you've wanted to make it more of a like hobby with friends, there's like a Discord, we yap, we chat. It's just like a giant community event essentially, but you read for points, which I will be talking about in this vlog, to either help your team or to attack another team, and you want to be the team with the most points at the end. This week I am going to be reading for the mages. All my points will go towards them, and I decided that just because this book had foiling on the cover, and one of their team prompts is a book with foiling on the cover, so it was nice and simple for me. But as I finish every book, I'll discuss some prompts and stuff. I'll make sure I have the announcement video link down below. It just makes me so competitive, so I always want to read as much as possible, because I think that it's fun to have my points, have my reads be part of something bigger than that. I don't know, it just like has me more motivated to read when I feel like there's a game to it, and that's why I created a readathon, because I love gamifying my reading. We took the cats to the vet earlier. We noticed that the little girl, the little one, has discharge in her left eye, and so we wanted to get that looked at right away to make sure she was okay. And we do have eye drops for her. We did get her eye scan to make sure she didn't have a cut in it, which like I've had happen to me, so I didn't think she had one, because I was like, I think she'd be in more pain, because when I had my eyeball slashed, like that's the worst pain I've ever felt, like the worst. It was awful. So I thought she'd be in more pain, but I just like needed to get it just to know for my own like mental sake, and it was only like $40. But we have her on eye drops now with antibiotics, so she's doing okay. And then he got his last shot that he needed, his last vaccine, so I've decided to just kind of take a chill day. I wanted to read a lot yesterday, but I didn't get any reading done because I was stressed. My brain was just spiraling about all the worst things that could happen, like what if, you know, like about them. We literally found out at like 6 p.m. We were like, we need to take her, and then they got us in this morning, so I'm thankful they did, so that I didn't have to spiral for too long. But I barely read last night, so I'm spending the day on the couch snuggled up and I'm reading. I'm 60% in right now. I'm enjoying this, but I do have a decent amount of complaints. I don't know if it's just because I recently read Rose in Chains and I read Daggermouth, and I think they do a lot of things this book is trying to do, but just a little bit better. I mostly think that there's a lot of like motivations I'm not understanding, some insta love. Like I just think everyone, she's special, like she feels special just because she's the main character, not because of anything she's doing or acting or saying or like the way she makes people trust or anything. It feels very like almost convenient and like insta-y, like he insta loves her, the other guy insta loves her. Like it just, there's so much I don't like about all of that, but I love the world. Like I think that like the dystopian setting, like the narrative that we're getting, I'm obsessed with all of that. I think it hits pretty hard whenever she like opens her eyes a little bit more about like the pills they're giving her and the propaganda they give her and all of this. Like I do really enjoy this, how like they're forced to eat yucky looking mush when the elite have like all this nice food, and they're told that it's because there's not enough stuff, and then they go and it's like an abundance of food up top. Like I do love all of that, so I'm not like hating this. I'm flying through it. It's a really easy read, but I definitely have some nitpicks, and I don't think it's gonna be a 5-star anymore. Okay, I did just finish Conform like literally 30 minutes ago, so my thoughts are pretty fresh. It's been a chill day, no makeup, we're just lounging around, so I am gonna start another read. The only thing I have going tonight is I watch Vampire Diaries with my patrons every Tuesday night. I will watch that for 2 hours, and then I will snuggle into bed probably and read and watch Nick's stream, because he streams on Twitch every Tuesday night and Thursday night. So I do want to book for like bedtime. But let's talk about Conform because I'm kind of getting ahead of myself a little bit. I have conflicting thoughts on this one. I really liked the story that was told for what it was. I really liked following along with this story. I'm intrigued by this story. But what I found myself struggling a lot with was caring about the actual characters' stories. I'm here for the overarching story. I'm here to watch everything getting taken down. I'm here to see the dismantling of all of the systems, but I did not find myself rooting necessarily for these characters. I'm just rooting for the system to be destroyed. And part of that is just that Emmeline is not my type of character. She is a little bit more in her head and introspective, but I also appreciated that a lot about her, and I think that's why I care so much about like the systematic story, because it was interesting to watch her realize things, and it was interesting to see how brainwashed we can get, and I could understand how I could be her in a world like this. Like, as she figured things out, I was like, I get why you don't get these things before, but I'm proud of you for understanding now and trying to make changes moving forward. And those changes weren't always steps forward. Sometimes they ended up steps back, but I found that was really, really well done, and it made me enjoy the overall story because of that. However, I found myself not really caring about her personally, just that I feel like I could insert so many women into who she was and feel this way about that, if that kind of makes sense. The romance for me really, really slacked. I think I said in Discord, because this was our book club pick for last month and I'm reading it a little bit late, I think this reads more like a dystopian than a dystopian romance, because even though there is a love triangle and a romance in it, I didn't care about either romance. They're kind of insta-lovey. They come out of left field. I think they're there more to move the systematic story forward than to actually be something we're supposed to be rooting for and caring for. That's at least my personal take on it and how I looked at it. I just didn't care about either romance. They happened too fast. There was not enough time on paper for me to be invested and to care about them. We saw like 3 scenes and then they're like head over heels, letting her talk to them in ways that she shouldn't be, and it just felt out of character and out of what I saw. Like, I didn't see enough of a connection to get there. But overall, this was a whirlwind of a story. I'm very excited to continue. I'm giving it 4 stars. There were a lot of things I did enjoy. Those were just like my little nitpicks to it. I love the setup in the story. I think the ending was a little rushed, but it also left me so damn intrigued for book 2. I wish book 2 was coming out sooner. There is a prequel of this coming out before, and I will be reading the prequel. I think this author's trying to do like a trilogy of trilogies and doing 3 books in 3 trilogies set in this world. So I think the prequel comes out like next month, like it's really soon, and I will be reading this. My personal preference as a series binger is that I would prefer to be able to read my series back to back instead of like the world back to back. So I personally wish that book 2 in this series was coming out next. My personal preference. I am also not the biggest fan of when I have to read like book 1 in this series and then read book 1 in the other series to then understand book 2 of this series. I like Easter eggs, but I'm not sure I 100% am on board for when they feel together even though they're separated. I'm like, just make it one whole series. So that I'm unsure about. I know a lot of people do like that, but I'm a little bit hesitant. But I am excited. I think overall there's so much incredible in this. It has a lot of Handmaid's Tale stuff in it, really, which is another one of my favorites. I love that story. It's just like so heartbreaking and so real and raw, especially in our society. Like, it's real and raw 30 years ago and it's real and raw now, and we think we've made so many changes and then it's like we could be this so easily, and that's really scary. I believe this was a debut too though, so like I see so many strengths in what this writing is to come. I think as the series progresses we're gonna see an incredible author come out, because this was such a strong debut. Like, I gave it 5 stars even with my nitpicks. I think all of the characters could have been more developed. I didn't really care enough about the characters, but what she crafted here, amazing. So 4 stars, and it is Tuesday at like 3 p.m. and I've currently read 402 pages. If I count the acknowledgements, because I did read those also, I've read 407 pages. Now I do need to submit these for a realmathon. We are going to be doing some positive points with this one because I'm too lazy to attack right now and do a poll. And I always go all the way to the bottom and scroll up since the bottom is 5. So, oh god, there's not a lot of good prompts here. We have dystopian, a fast-paced read, and that would be it. Never mind, we're attacking. We are attacking. Okay, we're just gonna attack the clerics because it's number 1, and then next time I'll attack the paladins. Normally I do polls, but I'm lazy right now. Okay, there's an icon between the title and the author on this spine. It will be a book that has interconnected worlds slash series, but they're not out yet, so I'm not gonna call it. A D6 for how many words are in the title. Let me get one. 4. Did not count. Character definitely has a hidden identity. It was a 5-star prediction. It was more pages than the last book I read. It is a recent haul. It also was foiling on the cover. It's not a school setting or a competition slash trial setting, but we do get an extra one for foiling on the cover. And my points are submitted. What I want to read next, I have literally no idea. I feel like I took so long on this book. I wanted to be done this so much earlier than I have been, but life has just been lifing with the cats and realm and stress and all of that. So I think I'm in between a couple things because I would love to do some crocheting. So that may be an audiobook, but also I want to read in bed physically. So I was thinking either maybe the Cassandra Clare book that I want to read or Half City. Maybe I should read Half City first because if I love City of Bones, I'm going to want to like binge read it. And I do want to get Half City done. It is my book club book for this month, so I might just start it right away. And then audiobook wise, I could do like Dungeon Crawler Carl or Zodiac Academy. Those are kind of my like go-to audiobooks currently. So I guess I will check in with you when I have a decision. Listen, I feel like I have not read nearly enough, but we are making progress. It's Wednesday currently, and I'm only 10% into my second book, which means this stack that I showed you probably not gonna get read. But here's the thing, I'm trying to be realistic about this. I could technically drop everything I've ever done to read in a week, but I burn out that way and I don't want to burn out. So like tonight I'm playing Phasma with my friends because a new update dropped, and I could really say, no, I should read instead. But when reading is your job, you have to make time for other hobbies too. And so although I'm trying to read as much as possible, I want to do it realistically and not burn out and still be doing other things I need to be doing and let life get in the way a little bit. I think I might be catching a cold though, and that's not good timing for me. Anyways, I have made progress in Half City. I have an arc of it, even though I believe it's out right now. And I will own it physically because I have the Fairylit edition. I just think my parents are currently holding that hostage. They hold my packages hostage so that I will come over and watch TV with them. So I have to go over there and watch some Below Deck with them or some Love is Blind in order to take a package home. So I think that they have it at their house. But I'm 10% in. I'm currently on to chapter 5. So we're not far in. We're just kind of getting our foot wet right now with the world building. We've seen her do some demon hunting. We've kind of learned about who she is as a character, which is my preferred style to start a story. We have things that are happening to her before her life completely changes, which will change when she goes to the academy. Literally the last line I just read was her like finding out about the academy. So I know we're heading there pretty shortly after, but I liked that we spent a good amount of time. Not even a good amount, I guess. Like we're not super far in, but like we spent time getting to know her, why she is the way she is, why she hunts these demons, who she is, how her family and her friends think about her, because essentially the first couple chapters we see her gonna be late for a party for her best friend because she's hunting demons and she can't not hunt these demons. Do I explain to my best friend that I'm not gonna make it to her party, or do I let this family die right now? So like we see her be a good person, and then we see the turmoil when her friends are like upset, or like the after effects that her actions have since no one knows. It's really, really, truly already giving me Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like I remember Buffy going through this, watching the show and having her have to struggle because she can't make it to things. People are upset with her. She can't really make friends because she has a duty that is greater than just showing up to your friend's birthday. But like also, how can you be a good friend if you never show up for your friend and they're always showing up for you? But you just like can't tell them. I mean, we know what happens in Buffy probably, but like it's giving Buffy the Vampire Slayer so much to me right now, and I really love Buffy. Like Buffy is one of my favorite shows. I should do a rewatch of it is what I'm thinking right now. But I am also now excited to see what happens as she moves forward into the school. I feel like we've set up a lot that I'm really interested in already. We have characters that I care about, characters I'm intrigued about because we just met another character, and we haven't even met like the school characters. One thing I am hoping for, I really hope that we don't forget about the characters we've already met. So essentially we've met her best friend, her mother, and her boyfriend, and sometimes I do find when we go to a school academy, we then learn about new friends and new people, and we kind of forget about those initial starting friendships. I don't think her boyfriend can be forgotten, but I could see her best friend kind of be forgotten. But I'm hoping we like blend them together, or like there's conflict still of her like really not showing up now. Like she truly like barely showed up before, but now it's like you really never show up and there's like conflict happening there or something very realistic to when this happens and someone moves on and gets new friends and goes to a new school and has this new thing and you kind of feel like a little bit left behind. I'm very intrigued. I feel like this could go so many ways for me, and if I'm already intrigued just with like the setup and the world building and how that's done, I think when we get to like the romance of it all, I'm going to really like that because I know this author does banter better than a lot of other authors. So very, very excited for all of that. I feel like I'm very excited. I'm still hoping for a 5-star prediction. A little nitpick is that chapters are a little bit long for me, but also my brain, even though I was like, I want to read so many books, my brain right now is not in reading mode. And so that's kind of on me, but that's what happens when you have cute little kittens that you just want to watch do literally everything. Sometimes when I read a book like Conform, afterwards I sit and I go, was I too harsh? Was this actually a 5-star? Am I just nitpicking? You know, like I kind of have in my head about the star rating I gave something sometimes, but then something comes along like Half City where I instantly know this is going to be a 5-star. I'm literally 50% through. I am having a hard time putting this down. I actually have plans with my friends to play Phasmophobia tonight, which is my favorite video game. There's a new update. Been very excited for it. And part of me thought about like, I'm sick, can't play, because I want to keep reading. And that's how I know it's a good book, because I love playing Phasmo with my friends. Like I love it, but I could continue reading this all night and finish it tonight. Honestly, I'm hoping we don't play Phasmo for too long, even though I have a feeling we will, so that I can curl into bed and stay up all night. Nick is working nights tonight, so I'm not expecting him home till like 2 a.m. So I can stay in bed and roll around as much as I want and giggle and smile and read this. So that's kind of my plan. I don't have a lot of thoughts, to be honest. I'm just kind of vibing. I really do like our main character. She's feisty. She has a lot of motivation to be who she is, I think. I love seeing her like fit in. I think it's relatable that her whole life she's felt like such an outsider because she's had to like lie to the people she loves, and now at the school academy with other people who know about the monsters, the demons, who know about her bloodlust and what it's like to be her in a little bit of a ways. Like seeing her kind of feel like she fits in, I feel like is so wholesome almost, even with its like dark elements to it. And it really speaks to my core. I will say, like, getting a little bit like deep, I've always been the weird person with all my friends. Growing up my entire life, I always felt like I was weirder than everyone else, that I liked to read, that I liked fantasy books, that I liked drama, like these like weird things as I fit into a cool crowd and I had friends and stuff. And I love my friends so wholeheartedly, even the ones I still have today, but even in high school, like I loved them. But sometimes I did feel like an outsider, and I'm sure everyone does in some way too, like their friendship. But now as an adult, I don't know if it's just making adult friends, but finding my best friends on the internet, I feel like I fit in completely. Like I feel like everybody gets me. We all understand each other. I feel just understood as a whole. I truly do by the friends I have made on this platform. Really, like I love them wholeheartedly, and I can relate, I think, a lot to this conversation, because not that I was like lying to my friends or my family about who I am, but I always just kind of felt like I wasn't exactly who I should be with them. Like, you know, not my family. My family's so supportive, but like high school friends and stuff, I just kind of felt like I was a little bit on the outside, like, you know? And I'm sure other people can relate to this at all times, but I think that that's something I'm finding really relatable myself in the story, and I'm really enjoying. There's honestly a couple mysteries happening. There's like what's going on in the school, but then also what happened to her father and like why her father hid this school from her, which I'm finding really interesting. There's like intrigue for me to get to those points. I'm liking learning about the world building and all of that, because there is a lot to it. It's not just demons. There's like different types of demons, vampires, succubus, like all of these things. And then we haven't seen a lot of romance at this point, just kind of like friendships, and I'm okay with that, because I do think the guy who is the romance, I love. There is like a fighting like training scene, and I literally just put in Discord because we're buddy reading it. I said that entire chapter was hot. That's all. So like I know I'm gonna love the scenes when we finally get more of the romance, but as they're like seeing each other, I feel like they're both kind of outsiders too. I think that's gonna like really, really work well for my brain. So I'm just kind of obsessed with this. I'm not gonna lie. In some ways, it's giving Zodiac Academy. If you like Zodiac Academy, it's also giving Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and it's also giving Winx Club to me. Like if you liked Buffy the Vampire Slayer crossed with Winx Club, this is for you. It kind of reminds me of like the whole storyline and plotline behind Winx Club, which is like a well-known school setting plotline in my opinion, but it's something I eat up every single time. A school with something sus happening and a group of friends kind of become the heroes. Any more of those? I love them so much. Okay, I'm gonna go play Phasmo, and then I'm gonna read. Honestly, I plan on having my Kindle open for when I die. I'm just gonna read while I die. I've been working really hard all day, sending out realmathon bookmarks. It's finally time for me to sit down and read my book. It's all I want to do today is finish this damn thing. I have 50% left, It's Thursday. I'm gonna have to make dinner, watch an extreme, but I'm hoping I can finish it all today, and let's get to doing that. He's listening to Dungeon Crawler Carl. We're making a reader out of him. It's a little bit of a nap time over here. Well, one person is sleeping. This one is also going to bed. Gorgeous, gorgeous boys. You're so fucking cute. Oh, you're beautiful. She's fucking adorable too. Nicholas. Oh, so cute though. Right? You're all cute. And while I cook, tonight we are having chicken with Swiss chili sauce that is definitely overboiling right now on sandwiches, like on a bun. And then also salad, and I'm really testing my own life here because I just picked out all the wontons out of this. I'm allergic to nuts, and this has almonds in it. I just picked the wontons out because I wanted the wontons. When I get angry, they don't separate them, but I'm not that allergic. It's like my mouth gets a little tingly. Like I'm not really allergic. I think I'm allergic, but I'm not deathly allergic or anything. So I decided it was worth it to have a tingly mouth. I finished Half City last night. I'm not surprised. I flew through it. I'm giving it 5 stars. I don't know what it was. I mean, I do. It's this like almost nostalgic feeling of my two like favorite shows combined. I mean, they're not my all-time favorite shows, but they're some of my favorite shows. And my tagline, my suggestion for reading it when I make my little Instagram reel and TikTok, I'm going to be like, this is Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Winx Club had a baby. Like, it blends those things together so perfectly. We have the demon slaying of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. We have kind of like the Hellmouth feeling of Half City being on the chasm in Half City. And then we also have like this found family school setting that is more than just Buffy and regular humans. There's other people who can contribute to the taking down of the big bads in a way that is more relatable. Like in Winx Club, they're all fairies. Like they all understand each other a bit. And then there's also just like the fighting and the training montage at the school, like learning about the magical world building and stuff within the school setting is more similar to Winx Club than Buffy the Vampire Slayer, since she's like a regular human girl going to a regular human high school in Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I feel like it blends those two together and I love them so much. I love both of them so much, and I loved Half City so much. I felt like, yes, there was probably things that I could complain about, little like world building ticks and things like that, where I was like, I wish I got a little bit more understanding of that, a little bit more description on this. But overall, I just couldn't put this book down. I literally was so invested in the journey, in the story. I wanted to know what was happening next. I definitely just found myself obsessed with the world we built, with Half City, with like the demons, and there's like the ending to it. Just, I literally put the book down and was like, how rude that I don't have book 2 right now. Like, how am I supposed to move on from this? How am I supposed to pick something up after I was so obsessed with this one, you know? I related really hard to the main character. I found her really, really relatable in her insecurities and her want to belong and finding the people who make you belong, but also being so freaking loyal to everybody. I got that. I loved the romance in this. I think it's a little insta-lovey. That's my fridge that just turned on. I do think it's a little insta-lovey, but I really ate up the moments together no matter what. I found myself like understanding why it was insta-lovey. When insta-love works, it's something like this for me, where no one else understood each other the way they understood each other. Like they looked into each other's eyes and saw the reflection of themselves. And I think that that's why I get it, because I understand why you would automatically feel attracted and wanting to share and experience more time with this person, because they feel like they're the only person on this planet that gets you in a way like no one else can. I think there was a big mystery intrigue for me in this, which is something I'm coming to really think that I need in my books, is something that keeps the plot moving forward, something that I'm interested in. A lot of times I do think that's why I like school setting books, because there's always like something nefarious going on, kids going missing, people dying, sus things happening, and this one did not fail for that. Like I was intrigued by what happened to her father, why she can't tell anyone that she's an Aeon or Eon or however that's said. Hello Frankie. And so much more about all of that. Like I'm literally obsessed. I'm obsessed. I need everybody to read this. Like it's so good. I'm just thinking about it. Like I'm sitting here and I'm just thinking about it. Like what a beautiful story. And I feel like the smut in this also, as someone who is very much a fan of smut just for like plot development and character development, I don't like smut for the sake of smut. I thought the smut in this was so well written. It felt real. Like I honestly felt like this is how like I feel, you know, like it just didn't feel overly descriptive and flowery. It felt like to the point for me, and that's what I really personally enjoyed. So overall, 5 stars, incredible. Probably gonna be on my best books of the year. I need more people to read it. I need more people to scream about it. I need everyone to just binge through it the way I did. And honestly, in my book club, people were also binging through it. Like I think that Mel, Nikki, and Deb all finished it before me, and I started it like 8 hours before them. But moving on to our next business, because I did finish this before I was going to bed. So I was like, well, I need a bedtime book. What am I going to read? And I was like, you know what? I'm in the mood to be in a city setting, a little bit dark, learn some cool stuff, but also kind of feel like nostalgic and familiar. So I picked up City of Bones. It's time. It's time for Cassandra Clare. I'm only 2 chapters into this. I'm liking it so far. I find that the writing is very engaging. So far, nothing that's happened has not happened in the TV show, which I had seen. So I am engaged. Like I liked the TV show, so obviously I like the similarities in the book, but I do know that this changes a lot from the TV show to the books. Like the TV show changed a lot in the adaptation, so intrigued to see all of that go down and whether I like that better or worse. I know the book is always better, but sometimes when you watch something first, like that's what I have in my brain. I think that's why people don't always love adaptations too, because the book is what you have in your brain and any changes you're unsure about. So sometimes I feel like whatever you found first is kind of like your base level. But so far, definitely enjoying it, vibing. This I feel like is exactly what I wanted after reading Half City. I just want an easy bingeable book. It's kind of the mood I'm in right now. I do kind of wish it had an audiobook because I would love to be crocheting, because my sister just recently picked out, I just fell off my chair almost. My sister just recently picked out my genre blanket for the year. So I do a genre blanket every single year, which is just I crochet a line that equals a color for every genre of book I read. I've done it for 4 years. This will be my 5th genre blanket. And so Amber, my sister, decided that she wanted it, so I let her pick out the yarn, because typically they just go to my cabin, and she was like, well, can I have one? And so she bought some yarn, and these are the colors. And so I'd love to get working on this because it's already March and I haven't started yet. However, the problem is I'm not actually done last year's yet because I was slacking. So I need to finish last year's before I can start on this one. But I keep picking up books that I want to read physically. So at some point this month, I need to prioritize some audiobooks so that I can crochet hobby. I also would love to do a scrap yarn, well, not really scrap yarn, I just have a bunch of colors for a blanket I never made that aren't really like my typical colors, and I'd love to do like a scrap cardigan with it or something. I don't know, just something with it. But these are my colors for this year's genre blanket. Really colorful in my opinion. I'm kind of shocked that my sister went so colorful. She's not a very colorful person, but I think that these are going to be my 2 main colors, and then these will be like pops of color throughout. So this will be like romantasy and fantasy. I apparently just got some publisher mail. I have no idea what this is. It's from Simon and Schuster, which makes me really, really, really excited, but I figured I would open it with you guys. Nick just brought it in and was like, you have a package. And then it was this like huge, massive box. I'm covering my address currently, so let's not cut myself while I do that. Oh, a box within a box. Launching spring 2026. There are cats inside the box now. It's like you guys have never seen a box before. As if they're not everywhere in my house for you. You're gonna be distracted watching them. I know it. Valid. Okay, it says launching spring 2026. Introducing Scarlet Press, a new imprint of Simon & Schuster dedicated to publishing passionate, heart-pounding, compulsively readable romance. We celebrate the enduring power of love by championing fresh voices, fierce characters, and immersive world building. Some stickers. Oh, I do know what this is. A couple of their coming soons, which they have some good ones. I love City of Gods and Monsters. I read that indie, and then also Empire, Flame and Thorns. Read that indie. Absolutely incredible. And then we have the book in all its glory, The Dark Lord's Guide to Dating and Other War Crimes by Tiffany Hunt. This is supposed to be like quirky and fun. I'm really excited about it. It's a little bit outside of my comfort zone, but I think that it could be incredible. I'm really hoping. I love it. The like cover, if you feel it right here, it's like up. Like it's raised from the rest. It feels really cool. And then we have a little candle. Love is always red. Sandalwood, violet, honey, and cinnamon is the flavor of this one. Would you like a sniff? Sniff, sniff. I think Nick will really like this. He's been looking for a candle. This one feels like a good mix between like masculine and feminine. Like it's not too masculine that I don't want it in my house, but like the sandalwood always gives me like a masculine smell. But with like the honey and the cinnamon, yeah, I think that this is a good one. Very excited to get to this book, and thank you so much to Scarlet Press and Simon & Schuster for sending it over to me. Nick and me had a really busy morning without planning to have a really busy morning. Tell me what cats like to play in the recycling bag. They're literally inside of it right now. Like, I just spent so much hard work putting all of that recycling into the recycling bag. Anyways, Nick and me had a busier day than expected. We ended up buying some chairs for our table. So we have to put those together today. We want to put one together to see if we like it, and then we can return them. We also need to vacuum, and I probably should put some laundry in. And I need to get ready because I feel kind of disgusting. So getting ready will help me like be motivated. And then I need to film some reels. We went to my parents' house and we got all the packages they've been holding hostage. I picked up my packages from my parents' house. I told you they're holding them hostage. I have a driver. So then I also want to unbox those and do all of that. And then I think we also have friends coming over to see the cats. And Nick has a thrifting like auction tonight. He's selling a bunch of stuff on a website. Busy, busy day. At least I have leftover chili because I made a giant pot of chili last night and we have a lot of leftover. Like there's only 2 of us. It's gonna take us forever to eat all this chili. And chili is one thing that I will eat leftover. I also made us beer bread and I'm very excited to eat some beer bread with my chili tonight. It's my first time making both of them and they turned out okay. The beer bread was a little crispy, but it was delicious and soft inside. Just the edge was really, really crispy and I liked it. Nick's angry that the cats are in the recycling bag.
She's gonna choke herself.
I feel like my day has not gone as planned at all. I ended up making Nick vacuum while I got ready because our friends were gonna come over at any second. And then we bought chairs. We built one chair. We don't like it, so we have to return them. We just think it's too much brown. And we also noticed that like we think the cat's claws are just not gonna be really good on the leather. So we're returning those. Now I need to film a couple reels that I need to get filmed. And what else? I don't know, but I also have a massive amount of things that I need to unbox, but I think I'm gonna do them for Instagram so that I have more content for Instagram because I'm really trying to up my Instagram content and I'm really hoping Half City is one of these so I can film a reel for it as well. I just think like, yeah, having unboxings for Instagram, whether I use them or not. Sometimes I film them and then I never end up using them, but I do think that that will be fun. But I do have an update for City of Bones because I am 20% in. Really my thoughts so far, this is not on the right chapter, so I'm just gonna take it out. It reads YA. It reads younger than I personally would prefer. I think reading this in junior high, I would have really, really loved it. Like I feel that vibe. Personally, where I am today, it's younger than I personally like. However, I know this story and I have heard that they get better as you go, and because I am intrigued with what I know of the TV show, I'm going to push through it and I'm hoping it just gets better as it goes and I find my footing a little bit in the younger style writing. I do think that if I hadn't already seen the show and be like interested, I probably would be DNFing just because of the writing style not really being my favorite. But I am very intrigued by like all of the magic and the world building and stuff, which is stuff I already knew, but like it's cool to see it again. It's actually making me want to rewatch the TV show quite a bit. So those are my first thoughts. Not a lot, just initial thoughts. Also, I feel like Jace is a little bit more emo than I picture him because of the show. And I kind of like that. It's kind of fun. He feels like more of a loner than I thought of him in the TV show. This vlog is already late, so it's going great over here. I'm not always the best at weekly vlogging. I'm not someone who reads in such a strict timeline. I pretty much only weekly vlog for realmathon and typically for Escape the Readathon as well, although I think I do 10-day vlogs for Escape and that tends to work a little bit better for me. But for realmathon, I like to read for all of the teams, so I end up weekly vlogging, and this one's already late. So today has been like kind of crunch time for this book, and I am almost done it, thankfully, and then I need to finish it tonight. I need to edit the video and I need to get the video up on YouTube so that tomorrow it can go live, because it was supposed to go up yesterday. And I need to start reading for the next week because it's already a shortened week. This is like the life of a booktuber though. Like sometimes this happens and you just kind of roll with it. But I have made a pretty big indent into City of Bones. I am on chapter 18, so this is all I have left. The audiobook says I'm 66% in, and it is a pretty quick listen. Nick's mom came over today, so like that kind of distracted me, but I knew she was coming over, so like I knew that was happening and I just have to work around it. She did chat for a lot longer than I expected, so I'm kind of crunch timing a little bit now, but it's fine. Thankfully, we had leftover chili again, which I don't really like to eat leftovers this much, but I made a lot of chili. I could freeze it, but it's actually been kind of helpful because we've been a little bit busy just to have in my fridge and eat for dinner. I'm enjoying City of Bones. I'm not loving it. I do think a lot of my enjoyment does come from the TV show. I think I'm picturing the characters a little bit more detailed and stuff because of the TV show at the age I'm at. However, I have a big appreciation for this book as I read it in what it did for YA and what it could have done for like little Cassidy. I think the storyline about insecurities is really well written and I really enjoy it, and I think that it is something that is very prevalent in our society. So for example, Clary's very insecure about herself, which I think young women, young girls, we always feel that way. Specifically, she tends to compare herself to the other female in this. And I think as someone who was a young girl, I compared myself to a lot of people. My best friend, I thought I looked nothing like her. Like I was like, why can't I have dark hair? Why can't I have long hair? At that time, I could never grow my hair this long. Why can't I look like her? You know, like there was so much insecurities in me at that time. And I think this is discussing kind of how we're all insecure really well. We're getting little snippets of them kind of saying you're beautiful too, and also her realizing that the person she thinks that she wants to be like her. And I think that's so real to our human nature. Like we're insecure about things, the things we don't like in ourselves, other people tend to love and think of our strong suits. And so we all kind of just live in this insecure life, which like really sucks. But I think sometimes knowing that someone else loves that thing about you or wants that trait about you is a very strong feeling to help combat that insecurity. And I'm loving this discussion in this, and I really think like 15-year-old Cassidy would have really enjoyed that storyline quite a bit as well. I mean, at 28 years old, I'm also still really enjoying it because I still have those moments. I'm still like, why can I never shut up? Why am I so combative sometimes? Like, why can I not just like let something go? Like, why do I have to fight my battles and my friends' battles? And like, I also know a lot of people, like my sister has been like, I love that about you. Like, I love how strong you are in your ideals. And like those things like that I'm so insecure about, other people like really do look up to. Like sometimes I'm like, why can't I just shut the fuck up sometimes? You know? And so it happens. Like I know 15-year-old Cassidy was really insecure about my eyes. They're really far apart. Fun fact, people called me a sloth because sloths had eyes that were really far apart. My nickname was Slothy for a bit, and it kind of became like a loving nickname. I literally have a sloth stuffed animal now that a friend gave me kind of to like combat it and kind of make it my own. But then I watched some modeling shows and they talked about how like that's kind of a thing that they look for in models and stuff like that. So like little things that we're insecure about, I just like think that seeing other people want those traits is really helpful for at least my own insecurities. Like it helps me realize that maybe I shouldn't be so insecure about that. Like if models who I think are gorgeous and everyone thinks are gorgeous, if one of the things that like they love in models is eyes being farther apart, like why am I insecure about my eyes being farther apart? You know, like I think it's just really, really well done for me, and I'm really appreciating that. I also like Jace as a character. I mean, I liked him in the show, so I'm not surprised. I feel like everyone who I liked in the show, I'm also liking in the book. It's hard to say whether that's because I'm picturing a lot of it from the TV show. Like, I do think that right now, at least, it feels pretty on par with what the TV show was, and so it's easy to like insert the characters I already know into it. I think Jace is like funny and like spicy, and I really do enjoy that. I like that he's sarcastic and he has comebacks. I'm excited to see like the sad boy within though, because you get like little snippets of it, and when he finally like breaks down and opens up to us as like Clary, I think that's going to be a really wonderful moment. I'm excited for what I know to come. I'm excited for like the reveals and things like that. It's kind of hard sometimes to read a book after like I have watched a show, and I think I've seen the show multiple times technically. I might do a rewatch though, because there are things that I just know are happening. Like, I would tell you this is probably a predictable book, but like, can I say it's predictable when of course I know what the twists are because I've seen them already play out? But I do think it reads very typical YA, but I like it. I like the urban setting. I really like the demon hunting aspect of it. I've kind of been in a mood for something like this. I'm debating picking up another Stasia Stark that's like Speak of the Demon to get some of that demon vibes too. So I am definitely enjoying it. I want to continue the series. I think it's feeling like a 3-star currently. The ending could like change it for me a little bit. I'm enjoying it, but like I'm not like absolutely obsessed, but I'm very intrigued to see how else the story goes, especially as things start to like change from the TV show and things like that. So that's my 60% update. I'm gonna spend the night listening to my audiobook. I'm currently deciding to use Notion for a lot of my organization and databases as I'm getting like review requests and PR requests and sponsorships and just like my YouTube stuff and Patreon readathons and YouTube readathons and all this stuff that I'm being asked to do. I've always really struggled with organization, and I try to use Google Sheets. I do know how to use Google Sheets pretty well, but I find that I still have troubles like finding things sometimes on Google Sheets because I'm just not the most organized. So I'm switching over to using Notion for a lot of things with Google Sheets like connected. I like that I can like link a Google Sheet in Notion, and so I'm organizing some of my Notion sheets, and right now what I'm currently doing is entering my owned library into Notion. I want to see some statistics and stuff on this because I'm doing like TBR redemption, which is like reading my physical TBR, and I also want to see like how much percentage of the books I haul this year that I'm reading, and so like I'm adding in the shelf that it's on, which I got inspiration from Jade from JD Ray Reads. She does like a shelf series where she picks a shelf and then she reads from it, but her shelves are organized by like 1.1, 1.2. So I did organize all my shelves starting over there, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I literally have the book and what shelf it's on, so like 3.1 or whatever. And then I have the year I hauled it because I need that information for TBR redemption and things like that. And so I'm currently moving on to the 4th shelf. I've only done 3 so far, so I need to input that, and that's really easy to do while listening to my audiobook. So that's my plan for the evening. Not very exciting, but I'm hoping to finish this book out, and then I'm hoping to edit this video, and that's all I gotta do. And I'm hoping a 3-star, and then I gotta figure out what I'm reading next week. And I think also I need to submit Half City. I don't think I've done that yet, and this book 4 points to realmathon. Oh, and since I am late, I actually can tell you currently the team in last place for the first week of realmathon. At the end of the first week, I can tell you that there's some secrets to be had. Every single vlog of mine, you will get a little secret like this revealed, a little bit of a placement. I ask for you to give it an hour before you comment it in Discord, and please use spoiler tags in Discord when you do post it. You can spoiler tag things in Discord by 2 lines on either side of the sentence, and if you need help, just ask some mods and we will help you out. I just want it so that if anyone does want to figure out through our videos and through that, they have the choice to do that, and also it does help us for you to watch our videos. So thank you so much for watching my video, the host videos. They also have secrets in theirs. I've been giving people little snippets of information to share, but for you guys, for week 1, you get to know who's in last place at the end of week 1. It is close. Like, I will say it's one of the closest years we've ever had. This year I changed some of the statistics because I have emails, so I'm going by unique participants. It's not just anyone who's ever signed up. You have to actually submit something for you to count as like part of the average number. So I'm interested to see how this all changes, but the secret is really, really close. Like, it's anyone's game at this point, but the team in last place for the first week is the Mages, which sucks because I'm reading for them, but I haven't submitted 2 books for them yet. So maybe I will be the reason that they are not in last place next week, even though I'll be reading for another team next week. It's finished. We've completed book 1 of the Mortal Instruments series. I am giving it 3 stars. I kind of hoped I'd be a little bit more obsessed with this than I am. I think for me, it just read a little young, and I think already knowing what happened maybe didn't help with my enjoyment, but also On the flip side, it kind of kept me reading in some areas since it did read a little bit young. So it's like hard to say whether I would have liked this more or less without having seen the TV show. I will say, because I have seen the TV show, I'm excited to continue. Like, I am really excited to continue this. I will be. I actually bought book 2 in the matching hardcover, so I'm gonna get book 3 as well. And also, I'm really excited to read through these because I've heard such good things about the next series. I've heard that series is like god tier, and this is just like okay compared to that series. So I have to get through all of this to get to that series. I do know I plan on reading 1, 2, 3, and then switching to the other series and then coming back to this series for the rest. That has been the recommended reading order that I've seen over and over and over again. So I think I'm going to listen to that reading order. I am happy that I could find a matching hardcover used. So I need to find the next couple books also in matching hardcovers. I'm hoping actually to get to this sooner rather than later. I ended up really enjoying the audiobook of this, so I think as soon as my Libby hold comes in with the audiobook, I will probably pick this up. Maybe next week, maybe the week after. This one is shorter in like width, maybe about the same. I don't know. Anyways, I don't have a lot of thoughts that I haven't shared with you. I think the twist in this book hits harder in the show. I think it's because for me, the show just felt a little bit more adult, not necessarily adult, but like older. And so what happens kind of hits a little bit harder. It feels a little bit more intense for me in the show than it did in this. I wasn't like a diehard stan in this one for what that is, but in the show, I was like, oh my God. No, you know, which I feel like is probably like really controversial, that I think I liked the show better than the book, but I also watched the show first, and so I think that is what my initial thoughts of all the characters in the world building is. I do think this was pretty true to it. It just reads younger in my opinion, which is not a bad thing either. I think 15-year-old Cassidy would have been obsessed with this series if I read it at that time. And I'm sad I didn't, honestly. Like, I really am sad that I was not picking this up and being a fangirl. Like, I could have been. But I am excited to binge my way through it as an adult still. I do plan on continuing. I'm hoping they just get better. I've heard that they feel a little bit more adult as you go on as well. So definitely a lot of things that I am excited about. The world building and stuff is really cool in this too. Like, it is our world, but with all the myths. Like, I love the like line that all stories are true. Like, I love seeing that line be true and seeing it all come up. And there's like a little thing at the start of this book with like an author note talking about what she meant by writing that, and I thought that was really good. I love little author notes, and I love when we get like editions that have things like that. I think that's really cool. I'm excited. I'm really excited to continue, and that's pretty much all I can say about this. There's not many other thoughts in my head right now. My favorite character is Luke, and I think that is showing my age just a little bit. Like, I was just picturing him shirtless as a werewolf, and I was like, yeah, I'm 28 and that's why I like Luke. You know, that's when you know you're finally getting old, when the adult characters in the books are the ones that you're like, oh, it's come for me. Age. I do need to submit this to realmathon. And since I've read 3 books this week, I think I'm just going to attack each team evenly. Since I did attack the clerics, I will attack the rogues with this one, and I actually haven't submitted my half city points, so I'm going to attack the paladins with half city. And you know what, instead of telling you exactly what prompts I'm using, because that feels like a lot of work right now, I'm going to pop on the screen all 3 of the books that I read this week and have the total of the amount of points I took away. This doesn't include the page count points because that will be to my team, and so I added a total of this amount of points to my team. And editing Cassidy is going to hate me. Editing Cassidy is going to be me in literally 10 minutes because I am ending this clip to go edit this video. I'm a little rushed right now. I'm a little bit in panic mode. It's like 8 p.m. and I'm like, I am gonna be up all night editing this, but it's fine. It's fine. I took the thumbnail pics earlier. They look good. This is just kind of my life in realmathon. It's the 1 month a year that I like to do something different with my content, and it stresses me out a little bit, but it's a lot of fun at the same time. Like, it's outside of my comfort zone and I like it. I will say I think I failed at my goal this week, which was to read as much as I could. You know, that huge stack that I showed you at the beginning of this video, and then I read 3 books. I think I read a total of 1,200 pages this week. Let's actually figure that out. Okay, Conform was 406 pages. City of Bones was 485. and Half City was 496, which equals a total of 1,387 pages. So that's how much I read this week. Not as much as I wanted to, but honestly a pretty solid week for me, and I liked them all. Like, this was a solid reading week. I guess I technically gave this a 3. You know what, I think that rating is wrong. I think this is a 4, because I was gonna say I didn't like anything, like I did not like anything. I think this was a 4-star for me, actually. I'm lying to you. I think I'm giving it 4 stars. So I literally gave 2 4-stars and a 5-star out this week. That's a solid week. So I'm pretty proud of myself regardless. I think life got in the way a little bit of like my reading goals, but I'm not mad about it. Like I had a good reading week, and that's all we can ask. So I hope you also had a good reading week, and if you're not participating in realmathon, I'm gonna leave the announcement video on the screen for you to check out. Still plenty of time to participate, and you can just backlog all your books. Like if you've read books already this week, you can just put those in as points now that you've signed up. And then I'll also leave another video on the screen, a long vlog for you to check out if you're interested in hanging out. If you made it all the way to the end of this video and you'd like to leave me an emoji just to say you were here, leave me a bone emoji of some sort, and have yourselves an absolutely remarkable day.